relax, and enjoy the Happiness Project!
Dealing with some depression and stuff like that. And the moral of today's story is now I'm not. So, I'm here to share with you guys today my journey to joy, or my happiness project. And while it has been a journey, I've done a lot of growing over the past year, a lot of thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. Is anybody else an overthinker in here? And while I don't claim to be any sort of psychologist, I do claim that my thoughts about happy and healthy living are worth sharing. So that's what we're doing here tonight. So thank you guys for being here. So basically college, right? Like, what a time to be alive. It's basically the quintessential beginning of being an adult. You're finally on your own. There's a lot of freedom going on. Yeah, so I got to college and everything was looking up. I had great friends in my class. I had great friends that I lived with. A lot of you guys are still here, so thanks for sticking around. I was loving my classes. I was loving everything I was doing. Second semester, I got cast in The Music Man as a pit singer, which was like a great role freshman year. That summer, I got to study abroad in Germany, which was like something I've always wanted to do. And kind of those moments, especially when I was abroad, was when this idea of competition really started to kind of like eat away at me a little bit. So that's when I started realizing that you're always up against people that you're best friends with, which is hard, and you're also constantly competing with yourself, trying to be better. I just started feeling like I wasn't good enough sometimes, and I know a lot of us can maybe relate to that. So I just kind of was working. If anybody knows the magic solution to not feel this way, like let me know, because we're still working on it. But it felt like every day I come into class and you're like, hey, I worked really hard on this song for masterclass, please like it. And they're like, oh no, I'm sorry, you still need a little bit more work. And then you're like, hey, I just mastered my double pirouette, please cast me. And they're like, oh no, I'm sorry, we need a triple. And then you're like, oh my god, please, here's like a pint of my blood, my sweat, and my tears for you, like that I'm shedding. Is that good enough? And they're like, oh no, I'm sorry, we're gonna need a quart. You're like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? Because sometimes it can get really discouraging, and you just get to this place where you're like, man, am I ever going to be good enough? And you feel like you found something that you love, and you love to do, and you're so excited about pursuing, and you just don't know if you're ever going to be worthy enough to love it. You almost feel a little alone, like you're waiting for somebody to believe in you. There are secrets on the leaf, in the water, in the air, hidden planets, tiny worlds, all invisible. Not a person seems to know, not a person seems to care. There is no one who believes a thing I say. Well, I'm fairly certain, at one time or another, great thinkers all feel this way. because of that plea that's in the middle of there, that please believe in me. Like, please, please, somebody. I feel like I'm drowning in self-doubt sometimes, and I feel like everything I go to do, sometimes I fail at it, and then I feel like a failure. And I'm just sick of feeling like a failure. So I kind of decided that I'm not going to do that anymore. Brené Brown, who's my own personal goddess, and I love her, and you guys should all read everything that she's ever done. She writes in her book, Daring Greatly, that failure and success doesn't have the power to define you. Where if you fail, it's valid to be upset or feel down for a second, but it doesn't define who you are. Similarly, like if you're successful, that's great and to be praised, but it still doesn't define who you are. So then what does define you? Well, I used to define myself as a perfectionist, so that basically meant that I defined myself as somebody who always did everything well, and everything was always okay, and everything was always great and perfect and put together. So to me, failure meant a lot of different things. I was, not doing well in a class, getting yelled at your professor at the end of class. Yeah, that didn't happen today. Anything, just not getting an opportunity, not messing up, not being able to be there for somebody, any of those different things. And whenever these things happen, even though they're tangible, momentary moments, it felt like I myself was a failure. So let's get back to that question then, what does define you? Well, you get to define you. Your worth and your happiness and you as a human is defined not by what you do, but who you are, by your likes, your dislikes, your interests, everything that makes up a compilation of who you are, like how you love, who you love, those things. So I just got to this place where I was like, no failure, you don't define me anymore. I'm defined by who I am and who I choose to be in this moment. Over the course of tonight, I'm going to go over a couple of little steps that I found to happy living, my happiness project. So my first step was kind of understanding that I'm enough, and I'm worthy, and I'm perfect just being me and breathing and existing. Like Brené Brown also says that you are imperfect and you are wired for struggle, but you are worthy of love and belonging. So basically, by this definition, no matter what you do throughout your life, you'll never be a failure because you're already worthy and you're already perfect just by existing. Can you guys imagine how much more happy our day would be if we went through that, having that knowledge in our brains at all times? Like waking up in the morning and being like, hello world, I know you're about to throw everything you've got at me, and it might be a crappy day, but I'm already a perfect and worthy individual, and I choose to be happy and joyful today because of that. I love that word. I love that word joy, because joy just means it's beyond a happiness, it's beyond that, it's just being overall content and happy with your life, regardless of how things are going. So, okay, there we go. I woke up and I took a breath this morning. That's joyful. You guys all woke up and took breaths this morning. That's awesome. You're a human. You're here. You're already perfect. So, oh shoot. And the fact that I'm even here right now, talking in front of all you guys, is the most terrifying thing I've ever done. But I'm also annoyed believing that you can never fail at being open and vulnerable with people. So thank you guys for being a part of my journey with that tonight. I also like to say, when I went and talked to Michael O'Hara about doing this project, you were like, hey, do you have any reservations about the process? And I was like, yes, the fact that it's a one-person show, and that sounds terrifying, because it's me, and that's a lot of pressure, and doesn't even want to hear what I have to say, and all those kinds of self-doubt moments. And you looked at me and you said, well, you're going to have to get over that really quickly. Basically saying that you're an artist and your stories are worth being told, and that's what you're here to do. If you're passionate about it, go for it. So yeah, thank you for that. There's an old saying, and regardless of my own personal fear of dogs, there's a great saying that is, I wish I could see myself in the way that my dog sees me. Well, I wish I could see myself in the way that you all see me, my professors, my family, my friends. Because I don't think you guys ever see me as a failure. And I'm getting to thank you for shaking your head as well. And I'm getting to a place where I don't think failure has power over me anymore. And I know that in my head and in my heart. I'm just working on having the confidence to see that through every day. What will this day be like? I wonder. What will my future be? I wonder. It could be all so exciting to be out in the world, to be free. My heart should be wildly rejoicing. adventure, to do the things I never did. Now here I'm facing adventure, then why am I so scared? A one-person show in front of my closest family and friends. What's so fearsome about that? Oh, I must stop these doubts, all these worries. If I don't, I just know I'll turn back. I must dream of the things I am seeking. I am seeking the courage I lack. The courage to serve them with reliance. Face my mistakes without defiance. Show them I'm worthy, and while I show them, I'll show me. So let them bring on any problems. I'll do better than my best. I have confidence they'll put me to the test, but I'll make them see I have confidence in me. Somehow I will impress them. I will be firm but kind, and all those children who've been blessed, then they will look up to me and mind me. With each step I am more certain everything will turn out fine. I have confidence the world can all be mine, but I'll make them see I have confidence in me. I have confidence in sunshine. I have confidence in rain. I have confidence that spring will come again. The signs which you see, I have confidence in me. Strength doesn't lie in numbers. Strength doesn't lie in wealth. Strength lies in nights of peaceful slumbers. When you wake up, it's healthy. All I trust, I leave my heart to. All I trust becomes my own. I have confidence in confidence alone. I have confidence in confidence alone. Besides which you see, I have confidence in me. That song I think is important in this journey for two reasons. One, because as I just mentioned, confidence in yourself is key, and you honestly have to believe, I think, that you are enough and you are worthy to find that place of happiness in your life. That's just something I found. And the other reason why I love that song is because in The Sound of Music, it's about Maria trying to figure out how she's going to mentor these kids and be their nanny and almost, be their mom. So one of my favorite job titles here at Ball State is that of mom. And I don't actually have any children. You think you all know that, but just clarifying. Just my dad's like, woo! But I have found that being a mother and a mentoring figure is something that really fills me up and makes me feel worthy and great. So there's your step number 2, finding that thing that's your talent and figuring out how to use it. So a little bit of background on this. In high school, we had a program called Greyhound Kickoff Mentors. So they were like GCOMs, and they were responsible for helping the freshmen transition into high school. And my junior year, I got to be a GCOM, and I was so excited. And I went in, and I'm still friends with some of the kids that I had mentored, and I helped them with their transition, answer their questions. And if any of you guys are ever in class with me, when a prospective student comes in, I'm always like, hi, let me answer your questions. So it was very much me being a GCOM as well. So I loved that in high school, and then that's kind of when the mentoring thing first hit me. And now here at Ball State, we also have a mentoring program. The juniors and seniors in the musical theater department get a mentee. So this summer at about 11 o'clock at night on a Tuesday, I want to say, I got the email about who my mentee was. Already had my Facebook message out to him by 11:10. At 11:12, I was already freaking out that I'd come on too strong. But no, Matt and I are very close now. He's, you know I was there to tell you about it. But I also got JLL in my sorority this semester. So the second that I met them, I was like, no, you would never. He's like, God bless you, John. So the second that I got them, I wasn't like, hey, call Menti, call me Amanda, call me your big. I was like, call me Mom. And I don't know, maybe it's because, my mother's like the most incredible human in the entire world, and if I'm anything like her, it's like the biggest compliment I can ever receive. But also because I think mothers have this overall reputation of just being nurturing and somebody that's there for you and just of being superheroes almost and doing it all. So again, if there's another reputation that I really pride myself in here, I'll say it's that of doing everything. And again, Dr. O'Hara likes to remind me, he's like, hey Amanda, you know you can't do everything. And I'm like, you're right, but I'm sure as hell gonna try. Beyond just, mentoring, I also, a lot of you know this list, but we're just gonna go over it again. I TA for 2 classes. I'm on the board for Alpha Psi Omega. I'm an Alpha Chi Omega sorority. I'm in a Bible study through that. I helped start the Department of Theater and Dance Bible study recently this semester. I work 3 jobs. I work for Cardinal Corps. I work in the Office of Admissions at the Welcome Center. I work for College Avenue United Methodist Church. I'm the honors. I could probably keep going if I wanted to, or we'll stop there. My personality type is one that never really needs a lot of alone time or downtime, so I just like to be running and being busy. So I actually saw a show this summer, and there was a character in there that really was proud of how much that she accomplishes in a day. And I was like, that's me. She's busy. It's just like me. So likewise, I like to find a lot of joy and pleasure in being busy, and I really find my identity in that a little bit, just in a similar way that that character finds a lot of identity in that.
Miss Bolt speaks 5 languages.
No, I don't.
Don't you?
I speak 6 languages. Every language easy as the recipe for making Jell-O. I speak 6 languages, and I can say hello, and at least 7 more. To excel in athletics is not difficult if one has the temperament. Apparently, I have the temperament. I score some goals, so unfazed am I as my life unrolls. Unamazed am I would like to brag, and I won't 'cause I don't have to. But I speak 6 languages, all American in hockey. Every time I stretch without getting sore. I speak 6 languages, and I like the theme from Rocky, though I play Mozart more. I achieve my goals, so unfazed am I as my life unrolls. Unamazed am I, winning is a job for which I get no real enjoyment, but je peux parler si cela. Cardo idioma simple, go yo no rishipe no yasashi des. Yaga value sheets yatsuki, vario da shalom. And not mind us even there, I speak 6 languages. I am so sick and tired, always being the best and the brightest at every mass. 6 lousy languages, and for my height I am the lightest of the girls in my class. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you guys just for a second there for suspending your disbelief and believing that I'm a child competing in spelling bee, because it's what this is. But it's so true. I feel like I'm always doing the absolute most, and my roommates can do. They're both either like, yeah. They're like, yeah. They never know where I am. It's great. But I feel like I'm just always running and doing everything. And while I did find a lot of worthiness and fulfillment and joy in being able to be there and help people out, I also found that it's okay to go ahead and take some time for yourself. As you can see, the title for tonight's show is The Happiness Project, A Work in Progress, and the whole taking time for yourself is probably the #1 work in progress that I'm working on right now. But I'm learning that it's okay to say no. You can also ask my roommates. I came home last week and I was like, guys, I said no to something, and they were like, good job. But yeah, I find I take those moments, when I take that hour a day to go home and like watch an episode of Parks and Rec or sit in the atrium and read my book, I fulfill myself first, which therefore helps me fulfill others and do all the things that I want to try and accomplish. So saying no and taking time for yourself, biggest work in progress, but definitely important. That's my message that I'm really working on here. Because I found a lot of the times, like last year, what a lot of my struggles were is that these moments of depression, anxiety, stress, they actually lingered in those moments of busyness when I wasn't able to acknowledge that they were there. Because I honestly do think that acknowledging that those things are there is the first way to start combating them. So I don't know if anyone here has ever experienced anything like anxiety or stress. And I know that those aren't medicated and clinical things, and I also believe that there are a lot of us out there that struggle from feeling that way, and it's never been diagnosed in any sort of way. So if you've ever felt like that, you know that it might be a little bit like, this is my analogy, a little bit like you're sitting in the bottom of this pit, and you're like looking up and everyone else is like fine and happy and going on with their lives, and you just feel stuck. So as I've been going through these pits in my life, I've started realizing the ways that people can help you out of them, and one is sympathetically and the other is empathetically. So sympathy, again with this analogy, sympathy is somebody basically throwing down a ladder or giving you a book or like sharing, like shouting you with a megaphone, being like, you can do it, you can feel better, you can get out of the pit. Now, empathy is understanding that telling somebody that they can feel better doesn't necessarily always make it happen. So what I found about empathy is those are the people that come down in the pit with you and hold your hand and say, I know that you're going through a really rough time right now, and I'm here for you, and we're going to sit through this and we're going to get through it together. That's empathy to me. And what I found is the best way to acknowledge these issues is honestly to understand that they're relevant to happening in your life. So I'm somebody who used to go through my life being like, well, just gonna be positive, everything's fine. Even when I had a disappointment or anything like that, I was like, it's fine, like we're just gonna be positive about it. Well, I've also found that numbing emotions isn't really a thing. So if you choose to numb your moments of anger and sadness, you are also numbing your happiness and your joy in a way. You have to be able to feel the entire spectrum to appreciate the entire spectrum. So it's kind of another step that I found is understanding that you're going to have those down moments and they make the high moments all the much better. Now in the movie Inside Out, which is an amazing movie, you guys can bring it up. I think it's a very important movie about how the brain functions. That's directed at like children of all ages, like Disney does. But the thing about this movie, if you've never seen it, it's basically the concept is the 5 main characters are the 5 emotions that are inside your brain, and they kind of control your thoughts and what's going on in your head. And the girl that there are the emotions for, her name is Riley. And the whole movie, Joy is like, let's be positive, like let's be happy. And she tries to keep sadness in this like bubble away from anything. So she doesn't want sadness to be a part of Riley's life. And when I see the movie, I'm like, oh my gosh, Joy is basically me. Because I'm always like, let's be happy, we don't have to be sad. And what happens about 3/4 of the way through the movie is they're looking at this memory where Riley was sitting and she had missed a big goal in hockey, so she's sitting in her tree and she's just upset and like feeling down on herself. And then her family and friends come out and cheer her up and cheer her on, even despite that failure, and make her feel better. And Joy looks down and she looks at sadness and she says, people need help because of sadness. And I found that that's also very true in my life. It's okay to have those moments where you're down and when you're feeling lousy, because there's always going to be people there to lift you up. And I have some of the most incredible people in my life, and all of you are sitting in this room, who are there for me in any times of trouble, any times of sadness, depression, any of that. And you guys are always there for me, reminding me that I'm not alone. It's those moments when I come home feeling like, what did I get myself into? What am I doing here? What is life? And you guys are there ready to greet me with a cup of hot tea and a bed to cuddle in. Now that's empathy.
There's
just so grateful for all the amazing people in my life, and yes, I'm going to take this moment to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here, for being there for my ups and downs, for being there through the great joys and then the great sadnesses, anything. Like, just my family has been incredible for my entire life. And all of you guys, is thank you. That's, yeah. The great thing about empathy is it just basically means this place of non-judgment. So even if you're struggling with the stupidest things or like panicking about really random stuff, yes, it's happened. You guys are still there to listen without any judgment. And you know, the other thing that good friends have to put up with is your friends' weird quirks, right? So on a little bit less of a serious note, everybody has their own little quirks and weird moments. So mine are that I have a lot of random obsessions. Yeah, so most of you know these, but we're going to go over them for a second. My first one, I love Disney World. I've been there over 25 times. It's amazing. That's when I want to work, right? After school, I just think it has this air about it where it encourages children, again, of all ages, to pursue their dreams and they encourage them for their special. I just think it's great. I also love Kate Middleton and the royal family. So Kate is basically my life idol, and she's everything that I ever want to be: classy, elegant, graceful, just everything. I have every magazine that they ever sold about like George and Charlotte when they were born. I have her biography, thank you Brian Sweeney. I have her coloring books, thank you Brian Sweeney. Best Secret Santa gift I've ever received. Yeah, I also have her paper dolls that I like change, they sit in my room. You know, another one of my obsessions is the television show Downton Abbey, which, yes, we're all, yeah. If you can't tell, he's a little obsessed with it too. Our openest times usually are about 5 minutes of rehearsing and then like 5 minutes of talking about the latest Downton Abbey. I've seen every episode of that show probably 6 times, other than the 6th season because it just came out, so we gotta catch up with that one. But perhaps my obsession that I get maybe the most crap about is my love of the Buffalo Bills football team. Because they haven't been to the playoffs in like 14 years. Maybe it's because they have never won a Super Bowl. Maybe it's because Buffalo is a very cold place and no one ever goes there. I don't know. But, you know, I still love that football team. And Bills fans are some of the most loyal people in the entire world. You guys all laughing at me. But Bills fans are some of the most loyal people in the world. And I swear to you, this fits into the entire story. But you know, I was going to take the opportunity to talk about Bills. But I just, even though I wasn't born there, technically I will die loving that football team. And if any of you guys have something to say about the Bills, or you come and insult my boys, I got a couple of things to say to you. The average devoted Bills fan is basically insecure. To some long frustration, they react to insults and looks of sorrow, difficult to endure by losing morale and confidence, to be exact. In other words, just from waiting around for that Super Bowl band of gold, a person just has to be bold. You can pray every year that you figure the winning record lurks. You can take a quick shot if a loss you have got, but it just won't work. If you're tired of getting depressed eyes from the ticket clerk, a person just has to be bold. It says here, the Bills fan remaining loyal, not in a fair weather sense, shows a neurotic tendency. See note. Chronic depressive symptoms, but resilient in present tense. Quick bombing, good fans, some snow, good wings, and no coat. In other words, just from knowing because of your team, people like to scoff. A person can be a little put off. You can strategize and play with your friends every day and be proud of the biz. The team from Buffalo never gets anywhere near the big games when we're playing the Miami Dolphins, and they're downstairs in our basement screaming at the television. You can actually ask anybody that's ever been in a show with me or a rehearsal process on Sunday. Because even for like Mad World this past semester, I was sitting backstage, full hoop skirt, corset, makeup, hair, everything, with the Yahoo Sports update of the game, screaming at it while like people were singing beautifully upstairs. So that's kind of how I, musical theater major, right? I know. Yeah. So I promise you that it fits in the overall story. So that's what we're gonna get to now. There's a thing about the Bills and their fans and that team that there's such a resilience there. And I love that word resilience because it's basically just, I'm gonna fight for what I love and what I love doing, and I'm not gonna stop regardless of anything that's going on around me. So, my dad and I recently watched this documentary entitled The Four Falls of Buffalo, talking about their 4 Super Bowl losses consecutively in the 90s. Yes, it happened. And obviously we cried, but not for all the reasons that you would think. What really got me, and so this is a little bit of your Buffalo Bills history lesson, you didn't know you were going to get today, but the first Super Bowl that they went to, they were down by like 2, it was 1 or 2 points, 1 point, they were down by 1 point. I knew that you would have the answer. They were down by 1 point, and 8 seconds left, and their kicker comes out to kick that last second field goal, right? Scott Norwood comes out, he's ready to kick it, wide right. So they lose. I know. So we're talking about feeling like a failure earlier. Can you imagine how much of a failure he must have felt like after that? It's not funny, but like wow. I literally cannot imagine. So, and I get back to Buffalo the next day, and parents are taking their kids out of school still to come to this pep rally afterwards that they're still having for the Bills because the fans are still so supportive of them. And Scott Norwood, the kicker, is like, I'm gonna be in the back, like nobody has to see me or talk to me, like I'm just gonna stand in my corner and not say a word. And so the team comes out and you just hear everybody start cheering for him. They say, Scott, Scott, Scott. And he's like, oh gosh, okay, what? And he comes up to the podium and everybody's cheering him and showing him all this love despite that failure that he had. And I mean, he stands up there and he just says, all right guys, you guys are the best fans in the NFL, and for you guys, we're going back next year. And they did. They went back 3 more years. So went back 3 more years. And they basically just kept saying, everybody in the NFL was like, God, please don't let the Buffalo Bills go back again. We don't want to be sad again when they lose. And Marv Levy, their coach, just kind of was like, if you don't want us there, stop us. Which I also think is very admirable. Okay, another story about resilience then, and I think their last Super Bowl was, they were down by a lot. Like it wasn't looking like they were going to be able to come back. And the other team's driving, and player breaks loose. He's about to make a touchdown. Does that thing where he like holds his arm out. He's like, yeah, I'm going to make a touchdown. And then our player, who followed him all the length of the field, knocks the ball out of his hand right at the last second. Now, was it really going to matter if like he had gotten that touchdown? No, another 7 points probably wouldn't have mattered compared to what the score was at the time. But that player still driving and fighting to knock that out of his hand, I just think shows such a drive and a resilience. Him doing that says, I'm not going to let this present situation that we're in stop me from going after what I want. Likewise, the Bills going back to the Super Bowl year after year after year shows that we're not letting past experiences define our chance for a bright future. In a similar way, the love that everybody in Buffalo still has for that team today, and us Indiana Bills fans over here, just shows that we have a passion and a drive for what that team does and what they stand for that'll never go away. Now, I see this all relating to me in a way because I, in all honesty, haven't necessarily been the luckiest in casting in my life. But I'm not going to let the present situation that I'm in keep me from driving forward. And regardless of anything that's happened in my past, even with my struggles last year, those issues, I'm not going to let past experiences determine my chance for a bright future. And I'm still here. I'm still striving to be happy and live a joyful life and do well in my field. It's just that I have a love and a passion for what I do that will never die. Now, oh, yes, okay. I think that, yeah, there we go. I think that everything happens for a reason. And I think that sometimes we have struggles and trials in our lives that we actually learn a lot from. So the Bills will tell you this. and I'll tell you this, I think that all the times that I failed or haven't gotten exactly what I wanted in my life have actually led to greater discoveries and greater joys that I didn't realize would be there. So I just think that I found, my new step to happiness is understanding that sometimes our blessings can be found in the strangest of places. Okay, good. blessings that I've been given in this past year is the fact that I wasn't cast this semester, because I got to do this show. And I've learned so much about myself, and I've grown so much, and it's just been such an amazing opportunity that I wouldn't have gotten if everything had gone according to plan. As I said before, I have this overwhelming faith that everything happens for a reason, and God has a very specific plan for your life. And I think that if you have faith in that plan, and enjoy it and live in it, you can prosper and grow and find your own happiness. I also think that there's something really amazing about God's timing. So right at this moment in my life when I'm feeling like down and I feel like I lost maybe my passion for what I'm doing, like what's going on, what am I doing? God gives me this show. And then God gives me a role in The Normal Heart. It's premiering here next week. You guys should totally probably see it. Shit's fun. And then, even I'm working orientation this summer here at Ball State. I'm so excited. Well, last week, yeah, there you go. And last week, though, I got a call from Cedar Point saying that they wanted to hire me for something, which was right when I was feeling like, oh man, I'll never get a job out in the real world. It really is amazing how those nuggets of blessings come into your life right when you need them the most. And that's really something that I've found. I've just, throughout this entire process, I've really learned and grown and figured out that I'm enough. I've figured out who is important in my life and how to fill my life with those people that show me empathy and love every day, help me show empathy to myself. I've helped enjoy my weird quirks and enjoy my talents and enjoy my busyness and all that kind of jazz. I'm just learning how to go along and enjoy this crazy ride and path that we call life by knowing that everything happens for a reason and that it's all meant to be. So this is the last song that I'm going to sing today, and it's the story of a girl who moves to New York City, and she had all these very high hopes for it. She was like, man, I can't wait to move to New York, it's going to be great, I've dreamed about it my whole life. And she gets there and kind of realizes that it's maybe not all it's cracked up to be. In a similar way, I've loved college overall, it's been a great experience, but you come here and there's so many things that are, things that are going to get at you that you didn't realize were going to be a problem, or didn't even realize at all. And so now, as this girl does in the song, she's journeying through and she finds a way to be determined, to continue loving, and continue a positive attitude, and stay grateful and joyful, even in the face of these negative trials and such. So in a similar way, I'm finding my happiness. This is my happiness project, and like a lot of other things in my life, it will always be a work in progress. However, I think I'm really starting to learn how to enjoy that journey. When I first moved to the city, someone told me you can always tell the tourists from the real New Yorkers passing by. 'Cause real New Yorkers never look up at the sky. So I quickly looked away, so eager to belong here, this land that I call home before I'd ever even been. And as we walked, I kept my skyward eyes just focused forward to claim my right to call this home by finally blending in. My friend must have noticed that gleam, that glimmering hint of a dream, 'cause she said all of that fades by the day. Just live here as long as I have kid, and instead of seeing buildings, you'll only see the tourists in your way. And the welcome to my city was the same as I met others who themselves a million years ago had moved here from so far. I'd say something dumb like Andy Warhol used to live here. They'd say anywhere but here. I'd have a backyard and a car. I'd say what a nice park. They'd say just not after dark. And it really just sucks when it snows. I'd say that a play felt fresh and new. They'd say trust me, you won't think that when you've seen 100 shows. It's a city of dreams gone astray, where even those who achieve them will say that still they would happily leave the Big Apple one day. Have people all forgotten why they came, what they once knew? And someday will I be like that too? And so it went as fall turned colder. I was